So after a drawn series up against the Irish, the Springboks are back in action this weekend and they will be taking on the Portuguese in what is their last game before their Rugby Championship. And in this video, I am going to be trying my best to predict Rassie Erasmus's 23-man side that he goes with up against the Portuguese. Now, normally it would be myself. I do normally have a guest with me for this type of video. Rugbyitch, he is unavailable. He is currently extremely high up in the sky. He's on a plane, and that is why he's unavailable to do this video with myself. But he has sent me his prediction for what the Springboks will go with. So I am going to be going through the positions, saying my own, and then saying what Tim has gone with for his. But do let me know what your Springbok side would be in the comments down below. But we're going to jump straight into it with the front row for myself. I have gone number 1, Gerhard Stennekamp, number 2, Johan Krubbeler, and number 3, Vincent Koch. This is the type of game that is the perfect opportunity to give some of those guys who haven't got a huge amount of caps a chance up against a professional side. Now, Portugal, they will not be easy beats, even though some people feel like it could be relatively one-sided. Between these two sides, the Boks cannot underestimate what this Portugal side can do, and I feel like this is a strong front row that will definitely be competitive up against this Portuguese team. Johan Krubbeler, this will be his first opportunity of 2024 in a Springbok kit. I am hoping he does have a great performance. So for Tim, he has also gone with Gerhard Stennekamp. He has also gone with Johan Krubbeler. But at number 3, rather than myself, who went with Vincent Koch, he has gone with Thomas du Toit. Now, he is another man that we have not seen so far for the Springboks. But either way, we have both made relatively drastic changes compared to what they did have in the 2 tests up against the Irish. Looking at my locks, I have gone with number 4, Eben Etzebeth, and number 5, Adi Snyman. Now, they do only have 3 locks available at the moment due to a Mostert injury. Etzebeth, Snyman, and Salman Moura. Now, I just couldn't see them starting Moura as the number 4. They may do it, but I don't think Eben Etzebeth will want to sit on the bench. He would much rather be in that starting side. Definitely after what happened last week. The man got busted open, and I feel like that will only fuel him more. So I think I would be putting him in the starting lineup. I think Rassie, there will definitely be chats between those two of whether or not he feels he is up for it, and he will definitely say yes for Eben Etzebeth. For Tim, he has gone with Salman Moura in that number 4 jersey, and then Adi Snyman as the number 5. So just the one change there between ourselves. So far, we've got 2 changes in the first 5 positions. In terms of the loose forward trio, for myself, I have gone with Marco van Staden, Elric Lowe, and Evan Ruiz. Now, they have also got the option of Pepsi Buthelezi. They've got Ben Jason Dixon, Sia Khaleesi. They have still got Peter Steph du Toit, all those men who they could put into the side, and they just may do it to give those guys a few more minutes before heading into the Rugby Championship, where South Africa will be taking on the Australians. But either way, I think that there is definitely going to be a lot of physicality in this loose forward trio for the Springboks. At times throughout that game up against Ireland for the second test, they were extremely physical, but also there were moments where it did seem like Ireland had a little bit of that strength edge, which is something the Springboks do not like when that happens. For Tim, he has gone with Sia Khaleesi as his starting 6. Now, I assume he has also picked him as captain. For myself, I did go with Eben Etzebeth in the starting side, so he is my captain for this matchup. Number 7 for Tim, he has gone with Ben Jason Dixon. And then number 8, he has gone with Jasper Wiese. Now, I'm not too sure whether or not Wiese's suspension has ended yet. But the man, like I said, he's currently on a plane, so I can't really ask him whether or not he still wants to put him in. But if he is still suspended, I'd say that Tim would have probably picked someone like an Evan Ruiz. Not just because I picked it, just because that might be exactly what the Springboks do end up doing. Now in the number 9 jersey, no Faf de Klerk for either of us, but both of us have gone with Cobus Reinach. Now, Morne van den Berg, it has been rumoured that he is going to get the opportunity in this matchup. Whether or not that's in the start or coming off the bench, though, is yet to be confirmed. At number 10, I have gone with Manie Libbok. Pollard and Faf in those first 2 games up against the Irish. The first one definitely went better than the second, but they've also got to kind of rotate the squad, give other players that opportunity in the starting lineup. And Reinach, we haven't seen him in action as of yet, and I can't wait to see what he can do in that number 9 jersey if he is given that opportunity. And just like myself with Manie Libbok at 10, Tim has done the exact same thing. In terms of the centres, I have gone with Andre Esterhuizen at number 12 and then Lukanyuam at number 13. He's another player who hasn't had the chance for the Boks, but that is just purely because of how well Jesse Kriel has been playing throughout this year. He had man of the match in the first game up against Ireland. He was still relatively active in that second contest, although the ball wasn't really getting out to him. That was mainly because of the kicking that we did see from South Africa. But Jesse Kriel, I think he's still going to be starting at number 13 throughout the Rugby Championship. Now, Andre Esterhuizen, I thought in the game up against Wales, was very strong at 12. Damien Dialende also released from the squad for personal reasons, so it opens that number 12 jersey up. I think Andre Esterhuizen will be the man who does get it. For Tim, he has gone with the same, Andre Esterhuizen and Lukanyuam as his centre pairing. I'll be honest, it feels really weird at this point, if you guys are still watching, to say my own and then say someone else's. I feel like I should have had like a disguise, or at least tried to attempt Tim's accent so that it made it a little bit more separate in terms of what we were going with. But his accent's very tricky. I think we can all agree that it would be extremely difficult to replicate in the back three. For myself, I have gone with Makazole Mapimpi at number 11. Number 14, I've gone with Kurtley Arendse. Now, this would have been where I would have loved to see Edwald van der Merwe get the chance, but sadly that man has got an injury, which means he will not be able to play in this contest. There's actually a couple other players who are out with injuries, one of which being a fullback option in Willie Leroux. Did take that head knock in the second test, so he is unavailable. So to partner alongside Makazole Mapimpi and Kurtley Arendse, I have gone with Apalele Fasi. In that first Springboks game of the year, up against the Welsh, he was extremely solid underneath the high ball. He did give away that one yellow card for the extended boot towards one of the Welsh players, but overall throughout that game, with the exception of that card, he was very strong at the back, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a lot more minutes moving forward for the Springboks, although of course they also do have Sasha Feinberg Ungumezulu, who showed throughout that game up against Ireland that he can play 15. But we already knew that. We knew he can play 15, 10, 12, 13. Wherever you need that man, he can definitely be there and ready to go. For Tim, he has gone with Makazole Mapimpi, Kurtley Arendse and Apalele Fasi. The same as myself, so no changes need to be mentioned there. In terms of my replacements off the bench, I've gone with Andre Hugo Venter as the number 16, number 17, Ntoko Machunu, and then number 18. This is where I have got Thomas du Toit. So Tim had him in the starting lineup. I have gone with him off the bench. I mean, that would be a pretty inexperienced 3 overall. I mean, Thomas du Toit has a little bit more experience than the other two, but Andre Hugo Venter, I'd love to see him get the chance here. He is the 4th hooker option at the moment. I do believe that they would say the order is Umbonambi and Marks as the starting 2, and then you've got Johan Grubler as well as Andre Hugo Venter, but I think this is the perfect game up against the Portuguese. It may be one of the only opportunities he gets throughout the Rugby Championship, so we'll definitely want to make the most of it and get as much right as he can in this contest. For Tim, he has gone with Andre Hugo Venter, Ntatuku Machunu, and then he has got Trevor Nakanye as his number 18. He's gone a little bit under the radar throughout 2024. When you look through at what they've gone with in those first 2 test matches, of course it's not too hard because it was an identical front row. You have got Oxnashare, you've got Vincent Koch, you've got Frans Malharba. It's extremely hard to take that man out of the number 3 jersey. And then also in that number 1 replacement role, they did go with Gerhard Stennekamp. In that Welsh game, it was pretty similar as well. So no performance from Thomas du Toit or Trevor Nakanye as of yet throughout 2024. But like I said, this game up against Portugal, it is the one of opportunities, and perhaps it is their opportunity to make it onto the park. We have both gone with the 6-2 split, I should mention. So the next 3 forwards are going to be as follows. For me, I have gone with Salman Moura here rather than in the starting side. Ben Jason Dixon at number 20, and then number 21. This is where I've gone with Pepsi Buthelezi. For Tim, he's got a few changes there. Eben Etzebeth as his number 19, Elric Lowe at number 20, and Evan Royce as the 21. So 3 men who I had in my starting side, he has got coming off the bench. I think that the bomb squad It was a little bit diffused in that second test match only because of the early injuries. We saw Mostert with that knee injury, which meant that RG Snyman had to make his way onto the field a lot earlier than it would have been anticipated. In fact, he made his way onto the field 3 times for different things, 2 of which were blood bins, and then the other was for that Mostert knee injury. And then you also had Sasha Feinberg Ngumezulu. He had to come onto the field after 1.5 minutes because of that Vili Leroux head knock. So that already went from a 6-2 split to a 5-1 split heading into the rest of the game. But I think they will once again go with the 6-2. Unless, of course, there is another back that they do want to see in action. We still haven't seen Juan Horn get that opportunity for the Springboks as of yet. So maybe this is the game that we would end up seeing it. But my last 2 players in my side, ladies and gents, Morne van den Berg at number 22 on debut. And then number 23, I have again gone with Sasha Feinberg Ngumezulu. Now, he did have a lot more minutes in the last performance than he would have been anticipating, but they do say strike while the iron is hot, and it does still seem like Sasha Feinberg Ngumezulu is getting better and better with each performance that he has. He looked like an experienced fullback when he was out there on the field. He was having some barnstorming runs, some really responsible kicks as well, so I would like to see him once again perhaps get that opportunity off the bench. Although I think Tim may have nailed it here. He's gone with Morne van den Berg at 22. And then this is where he's got Juan Horn as the number 23. But those are our sides. Ladies and gentlemen, like I mentioned, this game, it is up against the Portuguese. Rassi Erasmus going to be announcing his side tomorrow. And when he does, we are going to be doing the lineup on the channel as well. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. I do hope that this video is still somewhat entertaining. Like I said, we normally have a guest that didn't quite work, but in the future he will be back. Although after this one, there will be a 3-week break before we do end up with another match for the Springboks. But do let me know, like I said, your 23-man side that you will put out on the field up against the Portuguese, who you think Rassi will be going with, and also what your score prediction is for this entertaining contest. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one. Hey guys, doing well today. How does he talk? Hey guys, doing well today. I can't do his accent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tim, if you're still watching. Hope the plane ride went well.